Welcome to season 5 of the Uniquely Wired podcast. I'm your host, Nani Santana, and on this podcast, we talk all things faith, as I am a Christian, autism, as I am a mom of two autistic children, ages 9 and 5, girl and boy. And we also talk about ADHD, as I am a late diagnosed ADHD woman. I was diagnosed at the age of 30 last year. And so I talk about all those things on this podcast. I do want to give a big thank you to my faithful listeners, those of you that have been here since day one. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, and I also want to thank our new listeners. Thank you for being here. And I hope and pray that this podcast blesses you and that you are able to find hope in the midst of whether you just got your child's diagnosis, whether you are in the process of getting that diagnosis, whatever season you may find yourself in the part of your journey as an autism parent or ADHD parent, just know that you're not alone. And I really do hope and pray that you can feel that through this podcast. Um, I do have my iPad with me because I have my notes on here. And you guys know if I don't have my notes, I will be all over the place with the podcast. So I want to make sure that this first episode of the season is not super long and dragged. I don't want to bore you. I just want to get straight to the point. And that's what I want to do. So, first and foremost, I cannot believe summer is over. Now, I get it. Some of you are probably listening and you are at the beach. You live in a sunshine state that doesn't get four seasons. But for those of us that get four seasons, you are most likely entering fall, and summer is slowly leaving us. And I say slowly because it is still like in the 70s over here where I live in PA. And at nighttime it like drops, and then early in the morning it's like 50s, 60s, and you're freezing, you're wearing a jacket, sweats, and then in the middle of the day it's like super hot outside. That's literally the weather that we are currently in. Um but anyways, I am so thankful kids are back to school. We are back with the podcast. I feel like all my thoughts are collected, so I want to make sure that I share with you a little bit about what we did this summer. So, first, I do want to recap our family vacation. If you guys remember, I had mentioned that we were going to take our first long road trip with the kids, and we ended up going to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I remember that I never mentioned the location to you guys because normally, if we go anywhere as a family or even by myself, I tend to not mention the location until it has passed, right? So that's why I didn't say anything when I first mentioned the vacation to you guys. But we did go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and y'all, I was first of all mind blown, okay, at the fact that the kids did so amazing. They did such an amazing job. We ended up leaving the house at it was like 2:30 in the morning. And we did rent a vehicle that was much bigger than the two cars that we have here. Just because of course we were going to travel with so many things. Um because if you know, you know. And I said this on my stories during that time. I had shared a story, and if you go to my personal Instagram, Mom of Awesome Siblings, you'll see under the highlights of like vacation um where I share like everything that we ended up packing. I'm like, this is literally the life when you have children with high support needs that you need to bring like half of your house. Literally, it felt like we were moving to a new house because we had to bring everything with us. Anything that's just accommodating for our kids, such as Jacob's swing chair, that's just how he falls asleep. Um, Actually, no, we didn't bring his swing chair. We didn't bring his swing chair, which was a big deal for Jacob. sorry about that. I'm just remembering that we didn't have to bring his swing chair, you guys. So that was huge because if you know, then you know that that's how Jacob falls asleep. But he just did such a wonderful job. Anyways, like I was saying, we left at 2:30 in the morning. They woke up, no fight, no fussing, no crying, nothing, no meltdowns, no tantrums. They just easily allowed us to put them in the car and in the SUV that we rented, and we got on the road. I was shocked that they stayed up literally half of the 8-hour road trip because it was an 8-hour drive. I was shocked that they stayed up for most of the time. I want to say that they fell asleep and they took, I want to call it a little cat nap, and that was around maybe 5:30 in the morning, 6 in the morning. And we were already like halfway there. So that was like a big deal. That was a big deal, but they were calm the entire ride. They had their electronic device. So, you know, nonetheless, all I want to say is that it was just an awesome vacation. I would do it all over again. Now I'm kind of like, man, I want to take all the road trips. I'm down to driving. If we were able to drive 8 hours there and it took us 14 hours to come back only because we made more stops than we did going. And we also came back in the morning rather than leaving at night. So there was definitely so much more traffic, but the drive there was so smooth. And like I said, I would do it all over again. It was definitely a great, great vacation. I mean, the kids stay wonderful. A big win that we had during vacation. And by the way, if you're wondering, we went for 5 days and 4 nights. So that was, again, our very first time as a family taking 5-day vacation. But it was totally worth it. But I do want to share this big win, which again, if you follow me, then you already know this win. But you guys remember that I mentioned how Jacob and the beach were just not best friends just last summer. And we stayed, literally the hotel that we stayed in was right in front of the beach. Like we could see from our hotel room balcony, we could see the beach. And every morning, every day we were there, we would have breakfast in the hotel and we would walk right to the beach. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, I held his hand. But you guys, y'all, literally, he walked himself in like nothing. And he started flapping his hands. He was just so excited to see the beach, to see the waves, to see the sand. I was shocked. I was like, what? This is a miracle right in front of my eyes. And my husband and I were just like in awe. You know, when your child does something that either, they didn't like or it was overwhelming for them at some point or they just never tried it, it's just such a big deal for us. And I know you get it. If you are walking this journey, you just understand me so well because it's a big deal to us when our kids try something new. It really is. um so yeah, South Carolina, honestly, again, owes us nothing. I will do it all over again. So that was such a big win. Another win that we had with Jacob that I would like to share really quick before we move on is that he was the first one to fall asleep. Okay, he was the first one to fall asleep. One thing that we did purchase, which we're currently using in his bed, is the guard that goes on the side of the bed so he doesn't roll over and fall on the ground. That's what we purchased for the vacation specifically because we knew that the bed was higher than where he sleeps. It's a different scenario, but he slept with my husband and he was the first one to be gone in sleep every single night that we were there. Eliana, on the other hand, she was sleeping with me on my bed, and yeah, sis was having a very hard time falling asleep. She was stimming her life away, lots of vocal stims. And listen, I'm used to them stimming, but I'm not used to her sleeping with me because either none of my kids, and I say kids, but you know what I mean. Neither of my kids, either Eliana or Jacob, sleep with my husband and I. So this was really like their first time actually sleeping with us, especially that long. Um, so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so used to just hitting my bed and be in sleep that when she's in her room, in her bed, in her own personal space, she does all the things, right? And I don't really hear her because I'm in my room unless I look through the camera to check on her. But um I was like, girl, if you don't fall asleep. So that was a little interesting and fun at the same time. But again, it's memories that I will forever cherish and take with me in my heart. It was just a beautiful time. So yeah, I think I'm sharing this as well to encourage you if you have been wanting to take a family trip, whether it's a vacation, whether it's a road trip, whatever it is, don't be afraid. You're not going to know how something works until you try it. And I remember during that time of the vacation, and we took this vacation in the beginning of June, no, in the middle of June. And I had a family, a mom reach out to me like, hey, I'm planning a trip to go to Florida. I want to take a road trip, but I'm so scared. Like, any tips, ideas? And I was sharing some tips and ideas on my personal Instagram about it. And so, um, you know, like I said, and I will say it again, you're never gonna know how it feels if you don't try it. So I want to encourage you, do not stop your life because your child has a diagnosis. Do not stop your life because your child requires, extra support than another child does. That should not stop you from creating memories and being out in the world with your child because they deserve to experience vacation just like any other child does. Um, so that's just my advice to you. So, okay, let's go into um the other things. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. I did say Jacob loved the beach. These are just some highlights. Because he was the one that I was most concerned about due to his structure routine. Like he just thrives in routine. Every child is different, but I really believe that my son thrives in routine. Um but yeah, okay, so I share that, the highlights, all the things. Okay, what else? Again, this episode is just gonna be, of course, a welcome to the season and just me updating you guys on all the things before we, you know, um, have guests or get into any other topics. So birthday celebrations. We had both of my kids' birthday celebration this summer. They are both summer babies. Jacob is July and Eliana is August. So this summer, Jacob turned 6 and Eliana turned 9, which you guys, if I'm honest with you, I am still processing the fact that my daughter just turned 9. Like she is so close. Literally, next year, look at me, I was gonna say last year. Next year, she will be in the double digits. And for whatever reason, my brain still can't process that or accept that. But anyways, yep, she's 9 and you guys already know I've mentioned this before. She is in pre-puberty stage and it's been crazy. It's been crazy because I think I'm at that stage right now with her where I'm trying to figure out what's hormonal and what's autism and sensory. Like I feel like I'm playing a guessing game right now because of course she hasn't gotten her cycle just yet. And I say just yet because the endocrinologist already mentioned to me that to not be surprised if within this year she does get her cycle. So you can already imagine I am on high alert at all times. So that's definitely a lot to take in and just process. Um, so I think that's why I'm saying like I feel like in a guessing game because I'm like, okay, what is the hormones and what's the autism and the sensory processing. So it's definitely a lot. But anyways, for Jacob's birthday, we went to Dutch Wonderland and you guys, we had a blast. Yes, even the parents. I love Dutch Wonderland. Like I really think it's just such a fun family place to go with your kids. Honestly, you become a child again. Like you just relive your childhood all over again, having this much fun with your kids. So yeah, we had a blast. I know when he turned 4, we went to Dutch Wonderland as well for his fourth birthday. So we hadn't gone literally since, and now we went for his sixth birthday, and we had so much fun. Um, for Eliana's birthday, as a tradition, I don't know, I can't speak today, y'all, but as a tradition that we've been doing, I want to say we started this tradition maybe 2 years ago, where we just go to the beach. I mean, it's her happy place. She really enjoys the beach. She could be there all day, every day. She could care less about the rides. She could care less about anything else. Um, and she loves food, so she could care less about food in that moment. She'd rather be in front of the waves, the ocean, and just watching the waves, rise. And that's just her happy place. And now that we know that Jacob loves it, of course, we did not hesitate this summer to take that trip. And again, we had an awesome time. Really watching my kids grow is surreal, but it's really such a blessing. And I'm honored that God has chosen me to be my kids' mom. And, I'm just soaking in all the joy. That's not to say that I am ignorant to our struggles and the things that my children still have challenge with. But what I'm trying to say is that, first of all, if you know me and you listen to this podcast, then you know I am a positive person, but I don't ignore those things, right? I'm not ignorant to those things, but I just try to live in the moment. I don't want to live in the past. I just don't want to live in the past. I want to make sure that I am present in the moment and that I am soaking in what my kids are able to do. It just helps me mentally. And that's just how I am able to navigate this journey as an autism mother. This is how I am able to see my kids the way God sees them. And that is with full potential, just like anybody else. So, I think that's just what has been helping me in this journey as an autism mom. Granted, this was not it from the beginning. This was not me when I first received my daughter's autism diagnosis back in 2018. That was not the case at all. I was so negative. I was so upset. I was so sad. I was angry. I was all the negative emotions you can imagine. That was me in that time. But God has helped me overcome so much. His word, you know, the Bible, just reading it has really helped me to mother my children the way He wants me to mother them, to see my children the way He wants me to see them, to love my children the way He wants me to love them. And so that has been such a help for me. This is why I talk about my faith so much and I'm so bold about it and I'm so open. And I just want everyone to know that there is a God that loves you and that He didn't just allow this to happen just because He thinks you're a bad person, just because He wants you to have a hard life. No, because He knows that you can get through it, because He knows that you can walk this journey no matter the obstacle that comes in front of you, because He knows that you have a voice that you can speak up for your child when you need to speak up for them and when they need you to speak up for them. So that's why I am such an advocate for this community, because I believe our children deserve to be part of this world. Our children deserve the same opportunities everybody else gets. Our children also deserve it. So, but like I said, that was not me in the beginning of this journey. So, when you look at me and you're just getting to know me and you're just listening to me and you come across a video of me being so positive, just always remember that was not always Nani Santana, okay? Since the beginning. That was not it. Now, I will say, I've always had hope and faith, but during the beginning stages of I would say my daughter, because of course she's my oldest and she was the first to get diagnosed, it was very difficult to hold on to faith and hope. It was difficult because all I was seeing was negative. All I was focused on was what my daughter couldn't do. But seeing her now and how far she's come, it just proves to me and it shows me that there is still hope, that God is still in control, that it is not my way, but His way. And so that's exactly what I'm holding on to. So if that's you, listen, I encourage you to stay listening to this podcast and continue to be encouraged. Um, because really there's nothing else we can have in this world but the hope of Jesus. And I want to make sure that I make that very clear. Um, so okay, that's that. So we spoke about family vacation this summer. I mentioned the kids' a birthday. Let me see. Here are, you know, a summer bucket list win. I took the kids on a solo walk, just me and them, and had some fun at the park. So, we did a walk. I did about almost a 1 mile walk with them. I had them in the wagon, so that was a little difficult to say the least, but we got through it. And then they were getting antsy because they saw the playground, of course, because where I was walking, the playground is like in the middle of the trail. So they were like, yeah, sis, I don't got time to see you walking. I don't got time for this. Um, I'm trying to go to the playground. So, yeah, so we did that. And I just felt empowered, you guys. Listen, it may sound small, but it's such a big deal. And if you know, you just know. Okay. And this is why I share it with y'all, because y'all just get it. Okay. It is such a big deal. Um, to just simply say, I'm gonna get out, but actually act on it was huge for me. So I'm definitely very, very proud of myself for doing that. And it was a bucket list for the summer. I also started and have stuck to my weekly workout routine. Some days I'll do 10 minutes, some days I do 5, some days I don't work out. Um, and honestly, I am trying my best. At some point in the beginning of the summer, I was like on go working out, and I mean, nobody could stop me, and I was very determined. But I think I have slowed down, and now what I am starting to do before it gets very cold, I joined with a friend of mine, one of my close friends. She's like a big like workout girl, and she loves working out. She loves going to the gym. She loves doing Pilates. She loves doing all the things regarding wellness and workout. And she's just such a motivator. And we planned to go on walks. And that's what we started doing. As soon as the kids started school, we've been going on walks every other day. And that's what we're going to try and do because, again, life does happen, but that's what we're going to try and do before it gets very cold. And then I'll just go to my workouts at home every other day instead of every day, just to relieve some pressure of myself, because at first I was doing every day and then I just felt so consumed by it and like just so much pressure. And nobody was doing that. I was doing that myself. I was giving myself the pressure. So yeah, but I'm still trying my best for that. My cholesterol came back very high, so I'm really trying to prioritize my health and just my eating. um Sometimes I can go hours without eating and then you see me stuffing my face with junk. um so that's something that I'm personally working on. And if that's you, then just know you're not alone. I think there's a lot of people that struggle with that. So yeah, that's that. Just I'm just proud of my consistency, really, and not perfection. So I just want to make that clear. I don't want to make myself sound perfect because I'm not. I have lots of imperfections, but I am proud of my consistency. And you should be proud of your consistency as well if you have been consistent with something, whatever it is, whether it's reading, whether it's a walk, whether it's workout, whether it's eating good, whatever it is, be proud of yourself. Um, Ooh, I also have to mention a marriage milestone. This summer, I celebrated 11 years of marriage with my sweet husband, who, again, I'm so sorry. I know last season I said he was going to join the podcast, but we never found the time. But now that he's off every other Friday, we are definitely going to get an episode with my husband in there. So that is the goal, to do it on a Friday that he's off. And now that the kids are in school, both of them, because y'all know my son started kindergarten this school year. So I'm like, yes, we got no excuse now. We can do the episode together. So super excited. But that was super fun. I just have to say, like, it's crazy. It's wild to say that out loud because my husband and I, we've known each other and been together since 2011. And it was like love at first sight, to be honest with you, with him and I and our story and all the things. And we will share a little bit more of that when me and him are doing the episode. But I'm just thankful that God has been so faithful through our marriage, because if you know, then you know that being married is one thing, but being married and raising autistic children or special needs children, whatever your child's disability may be, it's so difficult. It is difficult. And I'm not ashamed to admit that it is difficult. And my husband and I say it all the time. But for us, we're thankful that our faith, we're anchored in our faith, we're anchored in Christ. And I feel like that really helps us. That really helps us. And just having the right community and the right support around us, it's been such a blessing. So we are planning to do an episode, marriage and autism parenting. And you know, um, I mean, that's just an episode by itself. Like it'll be a long one, but it's gonna be a good one. So, that's that. Another update I want to give you guys is Eliana's cooking class. Eliana is really loving her cooking class, and it has truly been a success. You guys know that it was hard for a while to find an extracurricular that she will like and really enjoy and feel like she's part of it and included. And so to have found the cooking class back in May, it's truly been a blessing. She also earned her first star on her chef's jacket for her knife skills. I still freak out when she holds up a knife. Granted, I don't give her like a full sharp knife. I give her like a kid's plastic knife that you can buy on Amazon. They have a ton. But I'm like, girl, you got them knife skills, but I'ma still watch real close, okay? Because I don't want you blowing any fingers out. So yeah, but that's super awesome. And I've met great moms on there, which are really cute and sweet. Okay, that sounded weird, cute and sweet. But anyways, they're just sweet and very nice. So yeah, I'm definitely thankful that she's loving that. And I just feel like it's a life skill that she can use for a lifetime. So it's not just an activity, but it's an activity that she is able to use with her as she gets older and uses for her independence. Um, yeah, you guys. And before we end and I give you my closing thoughts, the kids did start school. Like I mentioned, they started school, and I am recording this first episode of the season in September. So they did start in, when was it that they started? They started August 27th. So they're already almost a month into school. I just had their back to school night last night, and they're doing great. They're adjusting. You guys know I was a little, worried about Jacob starting because I did have him home this past year, homeschooling because of the whole thing, not wanting him in public school. And I was so afraid because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, did I do the right thing by keeping him? Because he really loves school. Like he enjoyed preschool those 2 years that he was in it. So, I was really afraid, but you guys, he surprised me so much. That first day of drop off, he was like nothing. Like he knew exactly where he was at. Like he just acted like he knew the building, he knew the school, he knew the teacher. I mean, he had no business caring about me at all. Like he was in there like nothing. So was Aliana. She loves school as well. So I'm really, really thankful that both of my kids love school and really enjoy it. Um, so yeah, he's adjusting. So just know he's doing great. Eliana's also doing wonderful. She has a new teacher this year. Not the same one as last year, but this new teacher, she's like an expert on AAC. And you guys, she has also done ABA in the past. She's been teaching in that school, in the kids' school for 26 years. And I mean, she just loves what she does. So I got to meet her and I got to actually, have a conversation with her, tell her a little bit more about Eliana. She has some questions, and I mean, she tells me like, your daughter is a smart cookie, and she's like, she loves math, which I've been told in the past. And she really loves math and she's thriving, you guys. I mean, I think the biggest thing with my kids is really their language. And it's something that I pray to God all the time. I'm like, God, if there's anything you can give my kids, please let it be their language, their verbal words, and even with their AAC, I want them to be able to build, you know, sentences, phrases, questions. I want them to be able to answer them. So even if they don't get it verbally, I just want them to be able to understand the expectations, the concept, to be able to express themselves with their AAC device. So with that being said, I was given the option this school year for Eliana, instead of taking general ed science, she's going to be taking AAC class with her teacher and I believe one of the speech therapists. And so the focus is pretty much going to be helping Eliana answer questions with her AAC, but also using her words as well, and just building conversation with the AAC. You know, the teacher did tell me that her goal is that Eliana is able to text me, you know, and that touched me. I was like, wow, like, excuse me, that is so true. You know, I do want my daughter to be able to text me. You know, I see kids her age, 9, 10-year-old, 11-year-olds with phones, and really a lot of them have a phone to be able to communicate with their parents. And so I'm not able to do that just yet. So yes, my husband and I were totally okay with opting out general ed science and letting her, you know, take the AAC classes instead. So that'll be 2 times a week. She is also still going to be doing once a week outside community, you know, learning. So she'll be going to the supermarket, like I mentioned to you guys last season. So she's still going to be doing that this year. She's also going to do cooking in the kitchen, in the school kitchen, once a week as well, which is why they go to the supermarket to purchase the ingredients of whatever it is that they're going to cook that week. So yeah, I mean, again, I love their school. I think it's an amazing school. Their special ed program, it's awesome, and I cannot complain. And I'm excited to see how Jacob thrives, you know, starting so early on in the school. So um nonetheless, all I have to say is that I am blessed. The favor of God is a real thing. That's all I'm going to say. His favor is real, and I cannot sit here and complain because my kids are truly blessed and they're doing fantastic. And so yeah, that's pretty much the update for them as of right now. That's where we're at because it is still the beginning of the school year. But as the school year goes and we're still doing the podcast in this season, then I'll keep you guys posted. But you guys know I will always be updating you guys via my personal Instagram. Um Another thing that happened literally this week, actually the week I'm recording this episode, in the beginning of this week, I released my very first digital journal for special needs moms. It is faith-based, filled with lots of encouragement, scriptures, prompts that are really meant to uplift you. And like I had mentioned, when I first released the journal, I said you don't have to be part of a church, you don't have to be super religious or whatever the term you want to use. But if you believe in God and you believe in his love and in his peace and in his word, then this journal is for you. And I am in the process, by popular demand, on working on the physical copy. So I am just so excited, you guys. This is a project that took me an entire year and I had never mentioned it to you guys. So I know it is a surprise for many of you if you haven't yet found out about the news. So definitely go check it out. And if you feel like it's something that you need in this journey and in this season of your life, feel free to go and grab your copy. The link is in the bio of my Instagram page, but I will also put it in the description of this episode. So yeah, I'm just excited by what God is doing, and the ministry continues to grow and flourish. So it's just awesome. It's awesome to see. But anyways, closing thoughts. So many things. So many things happened this summer. Of course, I couldn't fit them all on this episode, but I do want to share with you a little teaser of season 5. So upcoming episodes will dive into um IEP meetings, okay? Because I'm already in the process of scheduling the kids' annual IEP meeting. So we will talk about that. I believe I'm gonna have a guest to dive more into that. Yeah, I am going to have somebody. Her name is Alicia. She is going to be on the podcast this season. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to talk about puberty and parenting, marriage and autism, and just so much more this season. And if you have any topic suggestions that you feel I have not covered, um, in this podcast, please drop it down in the comments, or if you're watching on YouTube, drop it in the comments or email me. The email is going to be in the description of this episode. Please do not be afraid. I don't bite. I'm not a dog. I try to be as kind and as nice as possible as I can be. So please shoot me a message or message me on Instagram if you have any you know topic suggestions. So, listen, be sure to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Be sure to download this podcast if you are on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, Google, wherever you're listening to this podcast. Make sure you download it so you stay tuned with whatever else we got going on. Make sure that you rate this podcast, you guys. Please, please, please rate it. I don't care what you rate it. If you're not happy with it, you give it 1 star, you gave it 1 star. But if you love it, you give it 5 star. Amen. Listen, it's okay. It's your opinion, and that matters too. Um, and I have to take that. But like I said, rate it because it really helps the podcast get out there. And it just encourages me when I see rates, when I see, the rating of the podcast, when I see the reviews, the comments, it really encourages me and pushes me to just keep doing what I'm doing. And it reminds me why I started this whole thing in the first place. So, yeah, and make sure you follow me on my social media platforms. I will leave them those. I will leave them those. Do you hear that? I will leave those down below for you in the description of this episode. And thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm excited to kick off season 5 of the Uniquely Wired podcast. I'll see you on the next episode.